there are many algorithms which do it. One of the most powerful is called neural networks, and if you Google about it, they say it's inspired by the way human brains work, right? So neurons have two parts. One is an axon and one is a dendrite. Now dendrite is a part of a neuron which receives an input, और axon क्या करता है? Output throw करता है. Now that output goes to next dendrite. वो उस dendrite से consume करेगा information. Next axon will throw the next level of output to a next. So axon dendrite. So there are trillions of neurons which get formed in human brain. What we have done mathematically is try to recreate this.
In a world where everyone's trying to find answers, we just wanted to sit with the questions. Hi, I'm Vishruta.
I'm Praful.
And we're here to make space for modern life conversations.
Oh, how is the weekend? I realized the weekend is still on.
The weekend is interesting. In fact, I'm going to spend a large chunk of my weekend upskilling myself in AI. I've enrolled for a course.
क्यों?
With Kellogg. I think just to stay relevant in our jobs.
या FOMO हो गया.
FOMO भी हो गया, relevance भी चाहिए, understand भी करना है कि क्या हो सकता है. And somewhere I'm feeling that most service-oriented work is now pivoting towards product-oriented offerings. So I'm thinking that पता तो होना चाहिए क्या है.
Okay.
But actually that got me intrigued and I wanted to ask you a couple of questions on AI today, which is, what is artificial intelligence? And before we even go there, what is intelligence?
Yeah. So in fact, it's a बड़ा interesting question. See, I think intelligence is something which we have inherently carried. और ये तो just because machines are now getting very smart that we have now started to question कि intelligence है क्या. Because तभी हम artificial या natural में उसको categorize करा रहे हैं. What we inherently have is natural and what we are creating with the help of computers is artificial. But intelligence is, I mean, our ability to absorb, I think, information around us and then take relevant decisions which are good, hopefully good for us, good for everyone else. I think that is intelligence. And that's what machines are also doing now. Absorbing data and then making recommendations or predictions or even generating things.
So before I delve into more of the basics with you, I think just on the topic of intelligence, Alan Turing had actually said that a machine is believed to be intelligent is if it can fool a human or if it can make a human believe that it is intelligent.
Yeah.
So is this all about really, therefore, it being in a relative framework or, in a frame of reference that's relative to a human? Or is it about just acting? It's not really intelligent.
नहीं देखो उसने वो ट्यूरिंग ने क्या बोला था कि if you have two outputs, one from machine, one from human, and both are indistinguishable to a human, then machine has passed the intelligence test. अब as I said, हमारा frame of reference तो हमेशा से humans ही रहे हैं. तो मतलब you'll always compare intelligence to what humans have had. अब जब तक aliens नहीं आ जाते या कोई और नहीं आ जाता, तब तक तो frame of reference हम ही रहेंगे. And it's our past, actions only which are teaching machines how to become intelligent also. So it's human reference and then human trail of actions which machines are absorbing to become intelligent.
And just to, give our viewers a chance to know a little bit more about Alan Turing. He was the famous mathematician, right? On whom Imitation Games, was that what? Yeah, Imitation Games, the movie was made. And he was also the father of machine learning in modern science, or how do you call it? No, none of that. Andrew Ng for you.
Yeah, for me it's Andrew.
So why do you look up to Andrew Ng so much?
See, देखो, there is so much of noise, hype जिसके बारे में होता है ना, तो उसमें noise भी बहुत होता है. So someone's ability to simplify and teach you concepts in a way which stick with you without you breaking a sweat is a big deal. That's what he does. That's why I'm a fan.
Father of Coursera.
Yeah, founder of Coursera. He has worked with Google as well before. Google, Baidu.
Yeah, that's true. You need like another level of conceptual clarity to be able to teach people any concept.
By the way, many people don't know that he coined the word agentic, which the world is using left, right and center now.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And that's several steps ahead on our AI journey, which we will get to soon. So we were talking about AI and what is intelligence per se. But how does, okay, so you said the ability to absorb information. So how does AI really learn? How does it absorb this information, and how does it learn?
अब देखो डेटा है, you throw tons and tons of data. डेटा के पास, डेटा के ऊपर there are mathematical algorithms which literally sieve through the data and find patterns, right? And whatever patterns are very highly repetitive, that almost becomes a norm for a machine. As an example, think a 5-year-old or a 3-year-old. If you show him, let's say, an animal, a tiger, 25 times, 30 times, saying, this creature is called a tiger, or this creature is called a cow, this creature is a snake, what tends to happen in his or her brain is there is an association with an image and a name. तो नेक्स्ट टाइम जब वो या तो स्नेक को देखेगा या लायन को देखेगा या टाइगर को देखेगा, उसके ब्रेन में वो न्यूरॉन्स फायर हो जाएंगे जहां पे वो लायन की इमेज या टाइगर की इमेज सेव्ड है, एंड हिज ब्रेन विल टेल हिम दैट आई एसोसिएट दिस इमेज विद अ टाइगर, तो बोलेगा ये जी टाइगर है. Now what we have tried to do via mathematics, and that's where the beauty of mathematics lies, is we have tried to replicate this inside a machine. So instead of humans actually giving input just like we give to a baby, we throw tons and tons of data. So एक image होगी जैसे cat की या dog की, and someone would have labeled the image as cat and dog. We expose both the things to a machine so that the same type of patterns which were getting formed in that 3-year-old या 4-year-old का brain ना, those patterns get formed inside the machine as well. And next time you throw a cat ka ya dog ka image without telling the machine what it is, it will, from the patterns it has formed, right, it will tell you कि मेरे को लग रहा है कि ये cat है या मेरे को लग रहा है कि ये dog है.
So, for example, and that's very interesting, in a child, you have those patterns emanating from the brain, right? But how are those patterns created on a machine?
Yeah, so there are many algorithms which do it. One of the most powerful is called neural networks, and if you Google about it, they say it's inspired by the way human brains work. Now, human brains में भी neurons है, right? So neurons are two parts. One is an axon and one is a dendrite. Now, dendrite is a part of a neuron which receives an input, और axon क्या करता है? Output throw करता है. Now that output goes to next dendrite. वो उस dendrite से consume करेगा information, next axon will throw the next level of output to a next, so axon dendrite, so there are trillions of neurons which get formed in human brain. What we have done mathematically is try to recreate this. There are physical neurons, as in mathematical neurons, which take an input, throw an output, and that output may be converted or connected to a next neuron. So that's why it's called a neural network. Neural because it's inspired from human brain, network because there is a network of neurons. And inside a neuron, mathematics takes over, which converts raw input into a shape and form, which algorithm can then process and make predictions. So we have tried to replicate the working of a human brain with the help of mathematics, artificially, hence artificial intelligence.
So when you say mathematics, you mean the algorithm is such, or the function command is such that every input should result in an output which should further kind of feed into another input.
Yeah. That's how the architecture of a neural network is, right? There is an input layer. कुछ तो input दोगे ना आप algorithm को. Then we call hidden layers. It could be a one layer or many layers depending upon कि आपको कितना complex हो चाहिए, and then there is an output layer, right? All of these layers is nothing but neurons.
But it's amazing how the algorithms are also solving for associative properties in the sense that in a human brain, you would associate a cat to a picture and then say, oh, these are animals. So that goes into the next area. Then you say, oh, what other animals do I know? Okay, fine. And then it keeps kind of going on. But that questioning pattern is fairly natural, and consolidation by association is also fairly natural.
So this is all mathematics, basically. So, I mean, it will become too technical for our viewers if we get into that. But yeah, inherently, there is no sophisticated math which is happening inside a neuron. If I tell you, बहुत ही straightforward. I mean, when I learnt how does a neural network work, तो मेरे को लगा था ये इतना simple चीज है, मतलब which is kind of making everything possible, right? It's very simple, not easy because there are too many moving parts, right? That creates a little bit of complexity. But if you isolate one neuron by itself, is incredibly simple.
Thank you for listening. And if you found some of these nuggets worth treasuring, make sure that you bookmark it, save it, put a link somewhere on some group where you'll probably end up accessing it again. Follow, like, subscribe, of course. That'll help us generate more content for you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
If you have any questions for us or if you'd like us to explore more topics around modern life, feel free to comment.